All right, chapter 10. The people's confession. We're in Ezra. Now, when Ezra prayed, and when he had confessed, weeping, casting himself down before the house of God, there assembled unto him out of Israel a very great congregation of men and women and children. Assembled a very great congregation of men, women, and children. You know, as irritating as it may be, being in a church that has children while the service is going on, children, they can't focus the same way that we can. However, I do believe, I believe this in my heart, that the children need to be there. They need to be there seeing their mother and their father and acknowledge the learning and interpreting of the word. And then the parents can talk to the children and discuss, well, what did you get out of it? They don't need to be over in the children's room learning about some cartoon character of Jesus or whatever and drawing and coloring like they're in preschool or whatever. They need to be with us. They need to be with the teachers that are teaching the word. Ezra was a teacher, a priest, a scribe. He was knowledgeable. He was a scholar. He was a theologian. He knew the word and was teaching the word, okay? They need to be here with us. They need to have that. They need to have that experience. This is important. I believe it. Even if it is irritating. Even if they, scream out, whatever, or start crying, they can't handle the temptation, the fiery darts that are getting thrown at them. Think about this. As a kid, how easy and how new everything was. Colors were beautiful, were awesome. Trees, birds. There was so much learning, so easily distracted. And on top of that, they don't even understand what's attacking them. They just want to absorb, learn. Okay? So having the children there, how could you ask them about the sermon and what they thought about it if they weren't even there? You can ask them, well, what did you color today? Oh, I colored this, Dad. Oh, that's cool. What did you learn? Oh, I learned about stuff. Oh, okay. Well, you don't know what that teacher told them. You don't know what they did. You don't know that they just handed them a coloring book and said, oh, yeah, Jesus and stuff. It's really cool. And then just sat there and observed and made sure they didn't kill themselves. Okay? So they didn't learn anything. You're putting them in a babysitter environment. All right. Scream in here, play with Legos. Don't swallow it and don't die, or else I'll get in trouble. They need to be with the teacher, with the parents. They need that experience. And we, as teachers, as a witness, as the elders, follows along. They need to be there. They need to see us learning. They look up, the children look up to their mommy and daddy. And if they see mommy and daddy learning, growing, excited, joyful about this, they're going to want to do exactly that. They're going to want to do it. They're going to want to follow through. Okay, so this is really important. I believe this is really important that the children were there. And also, if you know the word, if you know the law, and you obey it not, there's consequences. So the men, the women, and the children were present. And more than likely, these were the same people. It was all of them, probably. Everyone, the ones that knew the law and were following it, and the ones that weren't. that knew the law and were not following it. And so they were all witness. So now you're all held accountable. For the people wept very sore. Why would they cry? Because they knew they were in transgression. They knew. Ezra told them and said, hey, we just got pulled out of slavery and you're going right back in. You're making a beeline straight for sin. Do you want to, you know that there's punishments. We just came out of Babylon. So they wept. They knew they were disobeying God, and they did it anyways. So he pulled them back. He confronted them, and then they wept because they knew what they had done. And Shechaniah, the son of Jehiel, one of the sons of Elam, answered and said unto Ezra, we have trespassed against our God, and have taken strange wives. Strange wives, strange fire. Typology. We have trespassed against our God, have taken strange wives of the people of the land. Yet now there is hope in Israel concerning this thing. What does God give you? Lots of things. One of them is hope. Before I was saved, I had no hope. I was living to die. I did not care. I had no hope. God gave me hope. God gives hope. Now therefore, let us make a covenant with our God to put away all the wives and such as are born of them, according to the counsel of my Lord, and all those that tremble at the commandment of our God. And let it be done according to the law. Arise, for this matter belongeth unto thee. We also will be with thee. Be of good courage. Courage in God. We have to have that as Christians, especially when we're going out and there's laws that speaking about God in the workspace can be considered hate speech. How dare you tell somebody about Jesus? Now, if you're dwelling in sin, I mean, not sin, but if you're dwelling on fear, if fear is stopping you from spreading the word of Jesus, spreading the gospel message, the three angels message, whatever, any portion of it, all of it. If you have fear, then where's that fear coming from? That fear is coming from the consequence. That's coming from Satan. Satan doesn't want this message being spread. So he's going to have any way. He's going to go to the kings. He's going to go to the law. He's going to find any way he can to hinder you spreading the message. So, be of good courage. Don't have fear of the consequences. God promised that he will take care of you. So, if you're in fear, you're not in faith. Have faith that God will take care of you. Have courage. And do it. So have courage, good courage, and do it. Follow through. So you work at Walmart. You talk to somebody about Jesus. They get offended. You get reprimanded or you get fired. Now you have a choice. You could say, oh man, see, this isn't right. This isn't good. I don't need to spread the word. Or maybe I can't talk to somebody in my next job about it because look what happens. I get fired. Fear of consequence. Now, have faith that, hey, kick rocks. All right? Obviously, God doesn't, they don't want the message. They don't want the gospel. God has another place that he wants me to go. There's somewhere else. God has mapped out everything. There is no dart, no little speed bump that God doesn't already know about. Nothing that Satan can throw at you, God doesn't already know about. So, have faith. There's another place. You're walking on a journey with God. God is with you. He's walking with you. He hasn't forsaken you. He hasn't forsook you. And He is walking with you. And He has forgiven you. He loves you. So look at it in a different way. Don't look at it like, oh, well, there's consequences to spreading the gospel and I'm not going to do that again. Look at it, well, God, what do you have for me next? There's obviously somebody there that you want me to talk to. Lord, pray, ask for guidance and direction. It's wonderful. Now you're not in fear, you're in faith. And now you get to see what God and God will perform because He loves you and He wants His message given to people that don't know it. It's beautiful, beautiful stuff here. Then arose Ezra and made the chief priests, the Levites, and all Israel to swear that they should do according to this word. And they swear. So they acknowledged. And then they swear. Then Ezra rose up from before the house of God and went into the chamber of Johanan, the son of Eliashib. And when he came thither, he did eat no bread, nor drank water, for he mourned because of the transgression of them that had been carried away. And they made proclamation throughout Judah and Jerusalem unto all the children of the captivity, that they should gather themselves together unto Jerusalem, and that whosoever would not come within 3 days, according to the counsel of the princes and the elders, all his substance should be forfeit, and himself separated from the congregation of those that have been carried away. So after all this, if you don't come, when God calls, that's it. You will be done. There are limitations to God's mercy, and there is a time limit where judgment comes. Bam, that's it. You had your timeline. You had many, 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 many times where God was coming to you and saying, see, I am alive, I am a living God, and this is what I say. Come. I'll give you 3 days. If you don't come in 3 days, you're done. You're finished. So he even warned them to choose Satan and their ways, do as thou wilt, or do as God will. Okay? And whoever would not come within 3 days, according to the counsel of the princes and the elders, all his substance should be forfeit, and himself separated from the congregation of those. So there was a culling. There was a cleansing process going on. There was all these people, and they had already established magistrates, elders, priests, all the princes, all these people, everybody. They were all from the captivity, pulled apart. They were set apart, and then they went back in, and then they said, all right, 3 days. You don't do this, you're done. You are no longer a part of this. It's your choice. It's your choice. Anybody's choice. We all have a choice. What do we choose? Okay. Then all the men of Judah and Benjamin gathered themselves together unto Jerusalem. Within 3 days, it was the 9th month, on the 20th day of the month, and all the people sat in the street of the house of God, trembling because of this matter, and for the great rain. And Ezra the priest stood up and said unto them, Ye have transgressed, and have taken strange wives, to increase the trespass of Israel. Now therefore make confession unto the Lord God of your fathers, and do his pleasure, and separate yourselves from the people of the land and from the strange wives. Then all the congregation answered and said with a loud voice, As thou hast said, so must we do. But the people are many, and it is a time of much rain, and we are not able to stand without. Neither is this a work of 1 day or 2. For we are many that have transgressed in this thing. Let now our rulers of all the congregation stand, and let all them which have taken strange wives in our cities come at appointed times, and with them the elders of every city, and the judges thereof, until the fierce wrath of our God for this matter be turned from us. So they're making excuses. Instead of just doing what was told and commanded of them, they were making excuses, trying to, we want to hold on to our sin longer. So how about you pull all the elders and all the important people, all those big figures, and why don't you pull them first? They did it too. Why don't you do that with them? And then once you're done with them, then we can sin some more and not follow your commands. Then we'll worry about us later. Do those important people first. Deal with other people. Don't deal with us. There's rain. I gotta go watch this movie. I gotta fornicate with this woman over here. Then I'll turn my life to Christ. Because there's a lot more sinning that I want to do. You see what these people are doing? They're making excuses. But we are not any different. But they were making excuses. Oh, the rain. Oh, I can't read the Bible today. I'm tired. I got gas. I've got an upset tummy. Boo-hoo. Do it. All right. Where was I? And the children of the captivity did so, and Ezra the priest, with certain chiefs of the fathers after the house of their fathers, and all of them by their name, were separated and sat down in the first day of the 10th month to examine the matter. So after their complaining, Ezra the priest, with a certain chief of the fathers, that were separated, so they were, following the law, and sat down on the first day of the 10th month to examine the matter. So after hearing the bickering and the moaning and the whining and the excuses from these people, Ezra and all the other people, the chief priests that were actually following God's word in accordance to his word, said, all right, let's discuss this matter on these one booty cheekers. All right. And they made an end with all the men that had taken strange wives by the first day of the first month. All right. And it keeps doing this. First day, first month. There's got to be a meaning behind it. I just don't know what it is. But note that in your memory banks, that it keeps bringing it up. First day, first month. Axartaxes, or whatever his name was, I think he made that decree on the first day of the first month of his 7th year or something like that. So, the first day, the first month, numbers are significant. They mean something with God. Priests with foreign wives. Number 18, verse 18 of 10. And among the sons of the priests there were found that had taken strange wives, namely of the sons of Jeshua, the son of Josadak, and his brethren, Messiah, and Eleazar, and Jereb, and Gedaliah. And they gave their hands that they would put away their wives. And being guilty, they offered a ram of the flock for their trespass. And of the sons of Immer, Hanani and Zebediah, and the sons of Harim, Maaseiah and Elijah, and Shemaiah, and Jehiel, and Uzziah, and the sons of Pashur, Elionia, Maaseiah, I don't these. Oh, this is horrible. Ishmael, Nathaniel, Jozabad, Elasa. Also of the Levites, Jozabad and Shemai, Kaliah. The same is Kalida, Pethahiah, Judah, and Eliezer. I don't know. And of the singers also, Eliashib, and the porters, Shalom, Telem, and Uri. Moreover, of Israel, the sons of Parash, Ramiah, Josiah, Malchiah, and Maimin, Eleazar, and Malchijah, and Benaiah. Yeah. And the sons of Elam, Mattaniah, Zechariah, Jehiel, Abdi, and Jeremoth, and Eliah. And the sons of Zatu, Onai, Elishib, Mattaniah, Jeremoth, Zabad, and Aziza. Of the sons also Bebai, Jehohanan, Hananiah, Zabai, and Athaliah, Athlai. And the sons of Benai, Meshulam, Malach, Adiah, Jeshub, and Shael, and Ramoth. And the sons of Ahath, Moab, Abna, Shelal, Benaiah, Maaseiah, Mathaniah, Bezalel, and Benui, and Manasseh. And the sons of Harim, Eliezer, Ishijah, Malchiah, Shemaiah, Shimeon, Benjamin, Moloch, and Shemariah. Of the sons of Hashum, Mattaniah, Mattatha, Zabad, Eli Pelet, Jeremiah, I don't know. That's not it doesn't have an H, so it's not Jeremiah, but it's something else. Manasseh and Shemai. Of the sons of Benai, Maadai, Amram, and Uel, Benaiah, or Ben oh my goodness, I apologize. Bedaniah, Chila. I can't even read these names. Anyways, if you want to read these names, go ahead and read them. I'm not in a struggle with these names anymore. I'll read them without embarrassing myself any longer. But anyway, so all these had taken strange wives, and some of them had wives by whom they had children. So all these people, these were just the important ones, I guess. All the leaders and elders and all the princes and all that. These are all them that had strange wives, and some of them even had children by them. And they were supposed to be done away with it. All right, thank you for that. Concludes Ezra. Thank you for your time. I hope that you learned something. I know I did. And I hope that you have a wonderful Sabbath day.